Great day. Welcome to the House of Masculinity. I'm Black J. Hey, it's Thursday, May 25th, 2023. Tribe up, my nigga. Hit the like button. Salute to the tribe. Salute to all the real niggas in the house. Hit that like if you a real nigga. Salute. And if you ain't, I guess you can go ahead and hit that dislike. Salute.
Biatch, you big dummy.
I hope everybody feeling good. I definitely am. You know what I'm saying? Got a nice breeze tonight, you know what I'm saying? It's sunny Florida. I'm out down here in La Florida. Your boy Black Jack is a Floridian, my nigga. Salute. But my ancestors range from all across the East Coast and the South, Southeast, my nigga. Salute. Salute. And we in the stronghold of the Naga, the Americas. We got a good show lined up for tonight. Y'all do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video, man. We got to get the message out. We gotta make our people aware, you know what I'm saying? We got people dropping propaganda on us all the time. Dropping all this propaganda and technology. So we gotta put the truth out here and we gotta spread the word, man. We gotta get everybody on the right frequency, my Naga. Can we get all the Nagas on the right frequency in the stronghold of the Naga? When the last time we had Nagas on the same frequency, my Naga? Salute. Title of the night show: what is America hiding from quote unquote blacks? What is America hiding from quote unquote blacks? And when I say America, I'm talking about all the Americas. I'm talking about Canada. I'm talking about the United States. I'm talking about the Caribbean islands. I'm talking about South America. I'm talking about the whole Americas. Because we got a lot of ignorant people out here, man. You know, they want a lot of separation. They want to speak on different parts of this side of the hemisphere of this. They want to speak on different parts of this hemisphere. Some people look at it like people from the United States. That's who an American is, and everybody else is just something else. If you're from Brazil, you're a Brazilian. If you're from Honduras, you're a Honduran. But if you're from the United States, you're America. But last time I checked, all this was America. Salute. If you're from Canada, you're what they would call a Canadian American, right? United States is just a part of the Americas. You know, we got to be more intelligent than this. We got to show intellect. All right, but we're about to get into this conversation. What is America hiding from blacks? What is the entire Americas hiding from so-called quote-unquote blacks? You know, the people they call Afro this, Afro that. You know, what they hiding from? What they hiding from blacks, quote-unquote blacks, in particular the United States. Salute.
You big dummy.
What is the United States in particular hiding from blacks? But what is America in general hiding from quote-unquote blacks? Y'all saw my thumbnail. You know, we always gotta revisit the thumbnail. We're gonna slow down and analyze this thumbnail for a minute. We're gonna analyze it from a third eye view, not a bird eye view, a third eye view. My Naga. Salute. We ain't going for no third eye mind tricks. Salute. Let's take a second to analyze this thumbnail. Now we clearly see an American Indian depicted on this thumbnail. We know it's American Indian by a few things. We obviously see the feather headdress, what some would call a war bonnet, and the feathers are definitely pointed up. My Naga. Salute. Hey, salute to AFJ in the house. Salute to Monaga AFJ in the house. Another thing we notice is the pearl necklace he's adorned with. We notice he has on the pearl necklace. Salute. So that's the second obvious sign that we're looking at American Indian. We see a feather headdress, feathers pointing up, and we see a pearl necklace. But it's a third indicator also. He's a Negro. Salute. So-called Negro, quote unquote black, quote unquote Negro. Salute.
You big dummy.
And not only is he a quote unquote Negro, from his phenotype, he has very kinky, what some would say nappy, coarse hair. Salute. He's a real Indian. He's a real Tamarican. Salute. We see depicted right here, and I'm gonna blow it up some more where everybody can see the phenotype and the texture of his hair. The American Indian never had long straight hair. That's a Hollywood Indian. That's what we would call a $5 pretendian over here. Those are the fake Indians, what they would call a red man. That's not a real Indian. The ones they call Native American. The ones that the Dawes Roll is full of. But we're looking at this ancient cigar store Indian right here. And we see he's clearly has hair texture like yours and mine. Salute.
You big dummy.
So now we're seeing true depictions of American Indian in the form of a tobacco statue, what some would call the Virginia style or the Virginia style or the black boy style. You know what I'm saying? If you want to research black boy tobacco store statues or black boy tobacco store Indians or Indian blackamoors, all of these terms will land you in the right place when you want to search this kind of material. Now we also want to blow this back down. We want to shrink this back down. And we want to still analyze this even further from a third eye point of view. Now the one striking thing that stood out to me when I examined this cigar store Indian that they got on display in the museum in Virginia was that they had this display set up strategically and very purposely. I'm just gonna shrink it down some more so we can get a good look at it, y'all. Salute. Y'all do me a favor, hit that like, support the channel, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get this message out. We in the stronghold of the Nagas, and Nagas don't even know. We in our motherland, salute, and our fatherland, salute, the promised land, salute. Now, one main thing that stand out to me, another thing that stand out to me strikingly in this image we see of this Tamarican, so-called Negro, of the stronghold of the Naga. They strategically got a sign with a date from 1876 to 1924. Now, when I saw this, it immediately struck me, you know, 1876 to 1924. I said, you know, why would they juxtapose that right next to this American Indian? And me, I'm an artist myself, and I'm into photography and videography also. And I'm into and when you're into photography and videography, you start to study and learn about composition. And when I say composition, I mean the composition of a scene or a photo. If you're talking photos, we're talking about the composition of the scene of the photo. When I say the composition, what things are placed in the photo to catch the eye of the viewer. Now, if you notice, this date was placed right next to the Indian to catch the eye of the viewer in this exhibit. They wanted you specifically to see 1876 to 1924. This could be coded for someone. Well, they might think that some people might just breeze past this, but what happened in 1876 and what happened in 1924? We know for sure in 1924, the Racial Integrity Act occurred, where they start referring to all so-called Negroes, so-called Indians. They started referring to them as blacks and Negroes, right? They start calling you black and Negro. They say you ain't an Indian no more in 1924. But what happened in 1876? Well, that's what we about to investigate, y'all. Salute. So we're looking at the composition. We're looking at the composition of that photo, and a lot stood out to me about it. 1876. What happened in 1876 in America? Anybody know? Hit me up in the chat. Let me know if you know. If you don't know, I'm gonna give you a second to think about it, and then we're gonna talk about it. Salute, tribe up, hit that like. If you want to support, we got the cash up at the top of the screen, cash.app/$ House of Masculinity. All your support go right back into the channel, my nigga. Your support goes towards us getting them movie nights popping off, getting that special material that costs some money sometimes, you know what I'm saying, and get that research that ain't for free. So all money contributed will go right back into the channel. Salute. Alright, so I gave y'all a little time to think about it. You know, I'm looking in the chat. I don't see no replies, so I don't know if nobody know anything about what happened in 1876. But we're gonna go there. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we see our guy that we just looking at on our thumbnail, and that this article in that the particular image we're looking at now is in reference to, it shows you the racial inequality in Virginia Museum of History and Culture, right? Racial inequality, and they talking about Negro Indians, right? Talking about a black and white thing, right? Salute.
You big dummy.
Hey, Jack 27 in the house, salute. And if you want to know how I found this image in the first place, if you want to know how you find these type of images, like I say, you could just go on Google and type in Virginia style, or black boy style tobacco statues. As a matter of fact, let me scroll down. I'll show you what was searched. Let me get this where y'all can see. So you see, black boy cigar store Indian. You type in black boy cigar store Indian, it's gonna pull up all kind of nagas with feathers on. It's gonna pull up nagas left and right. Naga, it's gonna show you all the real Indians. As soon as you put in black boy style or black boy cigar store Indian, that's all you gotta type in your Google search. You could be just like Blackjack up here just reading shit, pissing people off. You know what I'm saying? Black boy, all these black boy Indians. It's so much evidence of it. How could you not know it was you? And all of them nappy headed nagas, none of them long and straight hair. They start showing you the phonies and the newer ones. But all the ancient ones, all the very old ones, was nappy head naga, likely to have pearls on and gold hoop earrings, feathers pointed up. A lot of times the feathers were attached to a bejeweled crown, a bejeweled gold crown with feathers attached sometimes. These are real Indians, not the fake pretendians, not those fake ass Indians with feathers hanging all everywhere. Salute the ancient one in the house, salute, tribe up. Ancient one in the house, tribe up. So you're seeing the real depictions of the American Negro, the American Indian, aka, right, falsely called African American. And you see how we found this image of our guy. He's a black boy Indian. So just showing you some reference here. But let's move along. What they hide? What is America? What is America hiding from blacks? Well, let's talk about it. Salute. We at the Virginia Museum of History and Culture. You know, all they talking about the Ku Klux Klan, racial identity. Oh, racial identity. It's a cigar store figure. Now they want to call you an African American when we clearly just saw it was a black boy Indian that ain't never came from Africa, nor his ancestors. It says a cigar store figure with African American facial features and Native American dress. So they go ahead right here in the Virginia Museum of Science and History and Culture. They are admitting that that's culturally his dress is Native American. This one bomb right here, you just admitting it for all of them. So every time we see these feathers pointed up and these pearls, and you call him an African American facial features, but he's just an American Indian black boy, and we know it's historically correct. His Native American dress, and they said that one was from about 1880. So this was the late 1800s. You know what I'm saying? Depiction that we was looking at, the one in the thumbnail. Salute. The brother cut, you know what I'm saying? The brother looking mighty athletic. He looking like a football player or something. Look like he can bust through a couple tackles. Maybe even do a choke move on you. Spin around, catch a deep ball with one hand. You know what I'm saying? It's like most Nagas can. You know what I'm saying? Like most Nagas athletically blessed. So you know who you are, and we know who they not. It said it evokes the history of enslaved African Americans. We know they ain't enslaved no Africans. We know they enslaved American Indians. And look, they ain't say enslaved Africans. They say enslaved African Americans. That's code word for American Indian. How could you enslave an African American if you brought Africans over and enslaved them? They wouldn't be Americans at all. You calling these Negro black boy Indians Africans because they black. You enslaved them. Now you want to call them enslaved African Americans who grew tobacco, and the Indians who introduced it. The so-called African American is the Indian who introduced to tobacco. Salute. We read Pleasure of the Smoke, Black Virginians in London's tobacco shop. We always talk about that over here. We know exactly what we're looking at. We're not letting y'all fool us with y'all lies and y'all propaganda. Y'all propaganda like this brand new old ass propaganda film they bringing back out again or whatever. The Color Purple, the color propaganda, my nigga. If you're down with Black Jack, man, you know that's a bunch of bullshit. Salute. I ain't never seen none of my ancestors beating on the women of our tribe. I ain't never witnessed that ever in my life. That's a bold-faced lie that they propaganda they spread to separate niggas. To keep this gender war pumping. Don't fall for it, my nigga. Matter of fact, we should all boycott that trash-ass, garbage-ass movie. I wouldn't even watch it on bootleg, my nigga.
Now who sent you, nigga?
And the same goes for Roots. But it's a so-called enslaved African Americans who grew tobacco. We talking to Indians. It also reveals a stereotype held by many whites of both as equality inferior. That perception allowed the Virginia General Assembly in 1924 to pass the Racial Integrity Act and say stop calling them Indians, call them Negroes now. Salute.
You big
Call
dummy.
them blacks now. Salute. It ain't nothing but black and white now. Salute. Call them colored now. Call them even African American these days, right? It's a allowed them to pass the Racial Integrity Act, which labeled both simply as colored. Labeled the Indian as colored. So it labeled the less than 5% of Africans that came over here, and it wasn't even brought over here as slaves. The 5% of Africans that came over here on their own accord, and they labeled them 5% of Africans, and the rest of you American Indian black boys as colored. Salute. Let's say y'all look just alike. Let's say y'all colored. Y'all got the same hair texture. Let's say you black ass colored. I don't care if you got on pearls and the feathers. You an African American now. You a nigga. That's what they said, right?
Nigga. Darkness, everybody! Everyone! Darkness is spreading!
I ain't no gatekeeper of information. You know what I'm saying? I show y'all everything I can find. You know, all these different images. I leave y'all the receipts every time. You know, I know that not everybody on the channel watch the hour long or 30-minute long live stream or 45 minutes long, however long we rock for a particular night. A lot of people ain't got time to watch all that. So a lot of people, they catching the pics in the pics out that I post in the community chat, and they be asking for receipts, and I be like, man, all the receipts in the live stream. All you gotta do is sit back and check the lives, my naga. Salute. You know, I show all receipts. I take pride in showing receipts. I take pride in not being a fucking gatekeeper. Peeing on the darker ages, America's Aboriginals. Who are Aboriginals? Americas, your ancestors, my naga. You ain't come from no Africa. Are you crazy? The apple don't fall far from the tree, my naga fall right beneath it. You actually think some redneck, pale-faced, peasant, criminal, you know, undesirable, that they son over here as indentured slaves? Don't forget, they came over as slaves, my nagas, the peasants of Europe. That the colonizer government gave them an economic flow over you, my naga. And you the indigenous, you the army indigene. Salute. But that's how we find these images. For those that want to know, let's move on. Let's move on. And it says, you know, it labeled them all color. As States Records was altered. We know Walter Plecker went in there. He said, you know, take Indian out. He said, what that one say? That one say Yamasee, scratch that shit out. He said, put color in there. He said, what that one say? Seminole, scratch that shit off. Put color. He said, what that one say? Ginga Skull? Oh hell no, scratch that off, definitely. Put color. What that say? Pequot? Scratch it. Color. That's what Plecker did in 1924. So let's look back again. 1924, right? 1876, 1924, you officially a nigga now. You officially a nigga. They say no more feathers for you. They say take it off. Say you a nigga now. They say take that headdress off. They say take that loincloth off. Put that croaker sack on and get that shovel. You a nigga now. Salute. That's what they said.
Biatch.
Now who sent you, nigga?
1924, huh? But 1876, huh? What did that mar? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We're just looking back at the statue in the exhibit. Look at the Naga. This Naga look like Herschel Walker. This Naga look like Walter Payton or somebody. He can fight and all. I bet that Naga whoop. I bet that I just make peace with that Naga. I be like, bro, I don't want no problem, man. Me and you know what I'm saying? We don't even need it, bro. You look just, you know what I'm saying? You look like you're an animal. You look like they call you a savage, my Naga. They call you an all-bone savage.
Au bon sauvage. Au négré l'Amérique et l'Amérique négrée.
I'd say, bro, I'm my brother's keeper, my Naga. You ain't my enemy. Bro probably look at me and say, you know, Black Jack, I don't want no piece of you either. Salute.
Biatch.
This Naga, I get this Naga first. If we was playing football at the park, we were playing, you know, that old throwback tackle football with no pads on. I say, I got bro right there. I'm gonna get that Naga the ball. I'm gonna pass that Naga the ball. I'm gonna say, run, boy. I'm gonna say, run, boy. Like the white man telling Naga, you know we can fuck with each other like that, but they better not fuck with us like that. No salute. All right. So let's see what happened in what it was. What did it say? 1876 to 1924. What was 1876 all about? 1876, right? Well, if you don't know what happened in 1876, something went down called the Reconstruction Act. Radical Reconstruction. What was radical Reconstruction? We're gonna talk about it. We connect dots over here. Real history. It ain't gonna slide nothing past us. You can't show us no nappy head black ass Naga with some feathers on. With an 1876 to 1924 behind this Naga. You don't think we gonna investigate this shit?
You big dummy.
You crazy?
Biatch.
Now who sent you,
Y'all
nigga?
better start trying to talk about it.
Say another motherfucking word and this shit is over.
You know, they be
And I
saying,
ain't playing, nigga.
they be saying goof ass shit like, if you want to hide something from a Naga, put it in the book.
You big dummy.
They say if you want to hide something from a Naga, put it in the book, right? But if you want to propagandize a Naga, if you want to brainwash a Naga, put it in the movie. Salute.
You big dummy.
They say, yeah, you want a Naga to suck it on up, put it in the movie. Put it in a fake ass movie. Like the color propaganda. Naga to suck that on up. If you want to hide it from that Naga, put it in the book. The Reconstruction era. What was the Reconstruction era? It was a bill that divided the former Confederate states, except for Tennessee, into 5 military districts. It was a military bill into 5 military districts. The military involved, huh? Colonizer military. Each state was required to write a new constitution, which needed to be approved by a majority of voters, including so-called African Americans, right? They say we ain't calling you Nagas Indians no more. They say you ain't that no more. They say you an African American now. They say you a citizen now. Salute. It's black or white. You color, nothing else. Salute. Forget about all that tribe stuff. We're gonna assimilate you Nagas. Reconstruction, right? What did the Reconstruction Act of 1876 do? Reconstruction Act established military rule over southern states until new governments could be formed. They also limited some former Confederate officials and military officers' right to vote and to run for public office. Salute. I'm telling you, so they went to the nuts and bolts. They say, what did it do? They say, here's what it did. Say the Reconstruction Act established a military rule over the South.
You big dummy.
Who was in the South predominantly? The Naga, of course. They told you the American Naga, the Indian, was predominantly all over the South and the East of America, and it was out West too. It was all over. But you know, they told you where the tribes had done migrated through all this talking slavery and stuff and all this old hijack. And they was going to war with the 13 colonies. When they tried to run Nagas out of Jamestown, they ran to Pequot South. Nagas was down the southeast from there. You know, how you think Nagas got in the southeast? They had to get away from the 13 colonies. And there was Nagas already in the southeast, but you had a flood of Nagas migrate there to get away from the 13. Then you had the gold rush to go to California. Where you think Nagas go? Reconstruction Act of 1867, facing history and ourselves, right? Oh, you want to face history now, huh? So we know when we looking at that thumbnail, we know we talking the Reconstruction Act to the Racial Integrity Act, and it got all to do with the American Indian becoming the American nigger. Salute.
You big dummy.
You know it got everything to do with that. You know, this Masonic symbolism is trying to hide shit. I studied this type of shit. You ain't gonna hide it from me. I know about all your little tricknology and your little tricks. I investigated all from a third eye point of view. I'm not gonna put it past me. They try to put these messages out for others that know. The Reconstruction Acts. Let's just go to it. Wikipedia. The Racial Integrity Act. We're gonna start. We're gonna. I ain't mean to go there. We're gonna start with the Reconstruction Act. I thought I already had the page I wanted to select up. Let me look. Hold on. All right. The Reconstruction Act, or radical Reconstruction. Saw the Reconstruction Act, radical Reconstruction. The radicals felt strongly that the Confederates needed to be punished for their pro-slavery views and should only be readmitted to the Union after they had abolished slavery. Among other conditions, they believed that government intervention in states was necessary to ensure abolition and civil rights for blacks. Oh, blacks now? I don't know if I'm so sure about all that. You had a lot of free people of color in the South and Southeast. How are you ensuring protection for the free black? Are we not sure that these are white Europeans being freed and guaranteed protection, my nigga?
You big dummy.
Yo, we gotta question everything. We hijack liars. Who was really becoming citizens, giving the consent to be government? Let's back it up. Let's back it back up to the Reconstruction Act. We're gonna click on that. We're gonna go to Wikipedia. Reconstruction Acts. The Reconstruction Acts, or the Military Reconstruction Act. I told y'all, this was force. This was dropping bombs. This was doing all of that. All before Tulsa. Right? With 4 statutes passed during the Reconstruction era by the 40th United States Congress, addressing the requirement for southern states to be readmitted to the Union. So the southern states had a requirement to be readmitted. I thought they was forced to be readmitted. You know, what is going on here? I thought they told you after the Civil War, the North forced the South to rejoin the Union. But now we reading the Reconstruction Acts and radical Reconstruction. They telling us that it was stipulations that the South had to, that southern states had to agree to in order to be readmitted to the Union. Hey, Tribe Buck. Salute to AFJ for the $11 cash out. Salute, my nigga. Appreciate the support. Appreciate all the support. Definitely appreciate the support, my nigga. Shout out to AFJ. So we looking at the Reconstruction Acts, or the military Reconstruction, right? Military acts, right? They're telling you that these rebel states, they had requirements. They had to address some requirements for these states to be readmitted. Hold on, y'all. Let me run the sound back. They said they had requirements for these states to be readmitted. It wasn't no just we went to war and y'all back in and all this here. We force you back in. They tell so many lies that you really got to read between the lines sometimes to really get to the gist of things. It say there were 4 statutes passed during the Reconstruction era. Southern states had stipulations, right? The actual title of the initial legislation was an act to provide for the more efficient government of the rebel states, and was passed on March 4th, 1867. Salute. And it was passed on March 4th, 1867, and what it was fulfilled in 1876. Fulfillment of the requirement of the acts was necessary for the former Confederate states to be readmitted to the Union from military and federal control imposed during and after the American Civil War. All right? Background, Reconstruction. All right, so the black codes, right? They're talking black codes, freedmen, right? We know we're talking American knowledge. We know we're talking Indians, right? It said first began under the Union Army, which implemented policies conducive to military goals. Military goals, taking land, my nigga. Military goals is all about taking land and capturing people, slaving people, my nigga.
Now who sent you, nigga?
Taking land and taking people. That's what a military camp. Taking land, taking people, and killing. Right? The procession of Andrew Johnson to the presidency following the assassination of Abraham Lincoln was initially supported by radicals in Congress who thought Johnson's policies would be more punitive and far-reaching than Lincoln's. However, the radicals disapproved of how Johnson took a conciliatory approach and inflicted almost no punishment on the South, and how Johnson permitted Southern states to pass the black codes and to elect former Confederates to Congress. Johnson sought to finish Reconstruction by December 1865 before Congress would meet again. When Congress met in 1866, they overturned all of the president's decisions related to Reconstruction, barring delegations from the Southern states from entering the Congress, and passing the Freedmen's Bureau Bill. So the Freedmen's Bureau Bill got passed in 1866, right? And the Civil Rights Act of 1866, both over Johnson's veto. Johnson's hostility to congressional plans led to growing discontent in Congress with his administration. The midterm elections of 1866 produced a resounding endorsement of radical policy and a rejection of Johnson's, effectively leaving Johnson powerless to slow down the plans of the radical Congress. Support grew among congressional Republicans to wipe away the current Johnson state government and their abuses and to create new governments. So one big thing that stuck out when they're talking these Freedmen's Bureau Bill, right? They're talking 1866, right? Telling you slavery as we know it ended in 1863, 1865, and they say, all right, now we got the Freedmen's Bureau Bill and the Civil Rights Acts of 1866. Now you got to understand, a vast, large percentage of American so-called Negroes, Americans, quote-unquote blacks, were already free of color, free people of color before 1866 and 1865, 1863. It was a very large, huge population of free people of color all over the Americas, right? So when we looking at the Freedmen's Bureau, they still talking about the so-called American Negro, so-called American Indian, because what you got to understand, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you represent the people they initially came, conquered, enslaved, and killed. Probably so far back, you know, some of your ancestors was here in 1492 when Columbus came and stole people and took them back to Spain. There are no paper records to show that, except possibly existing in Spain, but there's no birth certificate to show you that was your 10 times great-grandfather. But these are your ancestors, my nigga. These colonizer records did not exist at that time. You are already here. So when they call this Freedmen's Bureau, when they say freedman, they talking about Nagas in general. Even though a large population of free people of color already existed here. Not everybody was enslaved. Not everybody was killed. Some people were. Salute. And it wasn't 400 years of it was just Nagas being enslaved. When they say 400 years of slavery, they marking the beginning. Far as the Columbian era goes, salute. 400 years mean the Columbian era. They talk 1492 and beyond. That's what they mean. They mean when they say the 400 years of slavery, they talking not 400 years of your ancestors in whips and chains and being beat on and killed. No, they talking philosophical when they say 400 years. They talking about mental slavery. They talking about you given the consent to be governed. You being under the control of a colonizer government for 400 years. That's what they saying. You still a slave. You still a prisoner of war. Ain't nobody beating on you. You got to get up and go to work every day to pay for a place to lay on your ancestral land. You are a slave. And everybody else that live here too. That's what they mean when they say 400 years of slavery. Salute. We gotta think deeper and smarter. We can't have the adolescent mind state of a child. You can't just run with something someone tells you. You gotta have the audacity. You gotta have the boldness and the outright defiance to question anything anybody tells you as an adult. So we see 1876, it was about freeing Nagas, freeing Indians, the ones who were enslaved, saying, join the rest of everybody else. You get a consent to be governed. Now you want to be a citizen. You ain't a Yamasee no more. Now you officially colored. We make you American citizen. You can vote and everything. They're talking about Civil Rights Acts of 1866. Civil. Make you a citizen now. We're going to assimilate you Nagas. You Nagas no longer tribed up as Indians. You Nagas is coloreds and blacks now. Now you are a citizen of the United States. You want to vote, Naga? You want to be equal, huh? You want to be equal to a foreign colonizer invader, huh? We'll make you equal then, Naga. You officially colored now, you big dummy.
You big dummy. Now who sent you, nigga?
Now you want to go in there and vote with everybody else. Be a slave like everybody else now.
Shit is over. And I ain't playing, nigga.
Be a slave like everybody else now. Racial Integrity Act, 1924. They say, yeah, let's go on and solidify it. Let's go on and put it down in the law now. We got these Nagas going. These Nagas in 1865, 1866, they want to be a citizen so bad. They want to be equal so bad. We done fooled them. We done threw them a bone. They want to vote. They want to be like the European peasants. They want to be like the indentured slaves. They want to be citizens. They want to vote, my Naga. Boom, give them the consent to be governed then. Call them niggas. They say the 1924, the Virginia Assembly enacted the Racial Integrity Act. The act reinforced racial segregation by prohibiting interracial marriage and classifying as white a person who has no trace whatsoever of any blood other than Caucasian. The act an outgrowth of eugenesis, right? And scientific racist propaganda. Propaganda, just like the color propaganda, the color purple, that bullshit ass movie. I wouldn't even watch it on bootleg.
Now who sent you, nigga?
That bullshit ass movie was pushed by Walter Plecker, a white supremacist. Yeah, a white supremacist.
Sit your $5 ass down.
And eugenicist who held the postal register of Virginia Bureau of Vital Statistics. The Racial Integrity Act required that all birth certificates, all of them, they say get them Yamasee birth certificates, get them Seminoles, get them Pequots, get all them Nagas, them Gangasco Nagas, get all them Naga birth certificates and their ancestors' birth certificates and marriage certificates in Virginia to include the person's race as either white or color. They say if that shit say anything about Indians, take that shit off. Put color if they was so called, but they look like this.
Darkness, everybody,
Claudie Sauvage. Au Négret l'Amérique.
Walter Plecker told the census worker, if you knock on that door and you see a damn all-bone savage come to that door talking about his name, Leroy, mark that nigga's color. Fuck all that Indian stuff. The act classified all non-white, including Native Americans, as colored, right? All niggas colored. We don't care if you from Africa, if you a Native American. We don't care. All y'all colored. In our eyes, all y'all. We don't care if we found that nigga in Florida. We don't care if that's a Floridian nigga. We don't care if that nigga's a Californian. We don't care if that's a Khalifa nigga. We don't care if that's a we don't care. We don't care if that's a New Orleans nigga. We don't care. All of them Negro. We don't care.
You big dummy.
They just told you that. They don't care if it was a Native American and they knew it. They say, hey, that nigga colored now. He want to be equal. He want to vote. He want to be a citizen. He signed up right here. He said right here he want to be a citizen. He said he want to vote. He said he want to be equal to the white peasants. So we made him a color. Yeah. We know all about the Racial Integrity Act. They say people ask, what was the main point of radical Reconstruction though? Right? They say it was to ensure abolition of civil rights for blacks, to ensure the Indian become blacks now, ensure that they become citizens, to ensure they give the consent to be governed, right? They're talking black suffrage now. They say no longer Indians, we're talking black suffrage now. Suffrage Act, right? United States Suffrage Act and all this bullshit, 1920s. Now they gave you niggas a cause. They say back to Africa, giving voting rights in 1870, right? Yeah. Y'all just lining right on up. It all line right on up. In 1875, 1870, 1920, 19. It all line right on up. The math just mathing on up so lovely. Don't you love when it fall right in place? You knockers and gave the consent to be Lex Will in the house. Salute, tribe up. It says in the United States, the American Indians gave the consent to be governed. And it's a phrase found in the 1776. And that's 100 years before 1876. Ain't that what a coinky dink? United States Declaration of Independence, written by Thomas Jefferson. Using thinking similar to the John Locke, the founders of the U.S. believed in a state built upon the consent of free and equal. Oh, you want to be equal to the white indentured slaves? You want to be equal, huh? You free him, now you want to be equal, huh? You want to be a slave too, huh? You want to be a nigga, huh?
Nigga. Darkness, everybody! Darkness is ready!
You want to vote now. You want to feel like you fitting on in. We're going to make you a free and equal citizen. You giving us your consent. Sign right here. Salute. A state otherwise conceived will lack legitimacy. They lacking legitimacy otherwise. You knockers want to be citizens so bad, want to vote, so want to be equal so bad. If you wanting to do all that, this U.S. colonizer government would have lacked legitimacy, like they still do, and rational legal authority. They had no authority. This was expressed among other places in the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence. Emphasis added: we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men created equal. You want to be equal now? You want to be a citizen, my nigga? You want to get your consent to be governed, to be controlled, to consent to be governed within the social liberty. The condition of for this existence of a political society have less to do with force and fear or coercion than with the members' mutual recognitions of a good common to themselves and others. They say, yeah, you want mutual recognition. You give me your consent to be controlled, to be governed. Government means control. You know, you get that rental, you try to dog that rental out, that thing say 160, you try to hit 160 in that rental, but you get to buy 120 and that thing don't let you go further. They got a governor on it. They controlling it. You give your consent to be governed, my nigga. That what happened. That's why you a nigga now. Reconstruction Act, the 1867 Military Reconstruction Act. See, they ain't want no Reconstruction Act. It was a Military Reconstruction Act. They say, take them knockers' land. Them knockers done gave the consent to be governed. That's our land now. They equal now. They niggas now. They ain't no Indian land no more. Salute.
You big dummy.
Biatch.
Hey, Melvin Jones in the house. Tri-Boy, salute. Say they want to be equal now, man. Just send the military down there. We'll tighten it all up. That's government land now. Y'all want to be citizens, huh? The 1867 Military Reconstruction Act, which which encompassed the vision of radical Republicans, set a new direction for Reconstruction in the South. Yeah, they set a new direction for you niggas. Republicans saw this law in 3 supplementary laws passed by Congress that year, called the Reconstruction Acts, as a way to deal with the disorder in the South. Oh, so we got disorder going on. Salute.
Now who sent you, nigga?
Nobody sent me.
Say another
Sit
motherfucking
your
word,
$5
and this
ass
shit is
down
over.
before I make change.
And I ain't playing, nigga.
Military acts. Disorder. Okay. Niggas wasn't having it, huh? I guess everybody ain't consent to be governor. Some niggas down there like, bitch, I'm a Seminole. What the fuck? Who is you? You coming out, you funky Frenchman coming all up in our shit, talking about you a black man, all this here, man. Man, what? Who sent you? Look here, y'all. Look at some relation of all this, y'all. Look here. Murder of Louisiana, sacrifice on the altar of radicalism. Anybody ever seen this? Hit me in the chat. Let me know if you've seen this. I posted this in the community section real earlier. It say murder of Louisiana, sacrifice on the altar. On the altar of radicalism. What's this about, y'all? Let's tribe up on this one from a third eye point of view. I just came across it in my research. I was like, this is interesting. 2 niggas with someone laid out. I guess this is Louis. The 2 niggas got Louis laid out about the murder. Is that the devil at the top? They got Ulysses Grant and a bunch of Beckys. One look like she's sniffing his ass. They got 2
Au bon sauvage. Au Négré l'Amérique.
They got this nigga stretched out. The devil about to slice this dude, I guess, man. I don't. There's some deep shit going on. You know, they making all this shit, y'all. And they gonna give you a simple ass story. Talking about, yeah, we went to Africa and got y'all. We don't know what. They ain't tell us no country. They weren't specific. They ain't like, yeah, we got y'all straight out of Nigeria. Y'all Nigerians. They ain't say, they ain't tell us no year. They ain't say we went to Nigeria in 1482. You know what I'm saying? They ain't come with nothing. They ain't say we fought the Nigerian bomb squad tribe. They ain't no details. They ain't say we killed 10,000 of the Nigerian bomb squad tribe. We captured another 100,000 and we brought you guys here. Your last name was this. You know, they ain't none of that. But boy, when it come down to this Naga Indian shit, boy, they got all kind of details, dates. They can tell you how many they captured. Boy, they got all kind of details. Boy, it go on for eons. They got political cartoons, the Naga all involved. Naga cutting. Man, what is going on over here, man? Y'all can't believe what the colonizer educational system told you, do you? I mean, not at this point. The murder of Louisiana, sacrifice on the altar of radicalism. President Ulysses S. Grant and Congress turned a blind eye to the disputed 1872 election of carpetbagger William P. Kellogg as governor of Louisiana. French Louisiana, huh? In this scene, Kellogg holds up the heart, which he has just extracted from the body of the female figure of Louisiana, who is held stretched across an altar by 2 freemen. Oh, interesting. Enthroned behind the altar sits Grant holding a sword. His Attorney General George H. Williams, the winged demon, perched behind him, directs his hand. The demon saying, "Cut that sucker."
Now who sent you?
Hey, the demon said, "Cut him." They said the demon directed his hand. Then next time I slap the shit out of $5 Indian, I'm gonna say, man,
Sit your $5 ass
the
down
demon
before I make
directed my
change.
hand. You ran up on me talking them fake ass feathers on. You got all them damn feathers on, looking like a fake police with a whole bunch of shit on his belt. You got all them feathers on. Did you got little feather syndrome? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you $5 red man. Say his Attorney General, the winged demon. At left, 3 other leering officers watched the operation, while at right, women representing the various states look on in obvious distress. South Carolina, kneeling close to the altar, is in chains. Oh, the one that like she was smelling his booty, that's South Carolina, I guess. They were like, you next, South Carolina, we gonna cut you too. They were like, the Nagas finna get loose and fuck up the whole state, South Carolina. You gonna be in chains, South Carolina. You see it, these wild ass, savage ass Nagas like Lil Webby and them get loose in Louisiana.
Au bon sauvage. Au Négré l'Amérique.
This is gonna happen to you. That's what this cartoon mean, y'all. We just read it. Anywho, that's Naga here there. Let's move on. You know, I just be researching all kind of stuff, you know. And just in some more references. Remember earlier, they told us when we was looking at our black boy who we did the thumbnail from. We was looking at this guy here. Remember they told us, dang, I ain't mean to do that though. Remember they told us, let's click on the right one on this one. Alright, remember when we clicked on that, do I still got it up? Let me see. Yeah, we still got it up. It say, remember, it told us African American facial features and a Native American dress. So every time, my Naga, every single time, no matter what we look at, when we see these black ass Naga, like we just looked at this one yesterday with feathers on and headdress, feather pointed up, we know these is Indians right there. They just told us. The Virginia Museum just told us it's Native American God, my Naga. That's your culture, my Naga. That's your ancestors' culture, my Naga. It just the Virginia Museum of History and Culture, my Naga, just told you. So you ain't even gotta read no description. If you got common damn sense, salute Steven Scoop in the house, salute Tribe Up. If you got common damn sense, my Naga, forget all of them descriptions. Forget the dates, forget where the fuck it came from, forget what country, forget all of that. If you big dummy mother, you see some fucking feathers pointed up on a Naga, you looking at an Indian. They just told you that. The white man told you that. Blackjack ain't have to tell you the white man told you. If it's look like a fucking so-called African American with feathers, that's Native American dress. So every time we see that, we looking at an Indian. Every time we see that, we looking at an Indian, my Naga. Every time we see that. Salute. Hey, shout out to Managa. Who let me see. Somebody asked me about this one earlier. Let me see who it was in the community. Salute Tribe Up. Salute Managa asked me earlier. I posted this one. I know sometimes I post these in the community chat and I don't be giving no source because I be planning on dropping the live on it. That's why I don't give them a source up right away. My Naga Steven Scuba said. He said where this will come from. Here you go, Steve. Here you go, my Naga Steven Scuba. Tribe Up, a loyal tribal member. Here you go, my Naga. This is where we got it from. And we're gonna click on the pic. But this is hard to find because it's all this kind of stuff can be hard to find when it comes to these ones because it's always in this babble. It's always in the forked tongue. And even if you type this in Google, it ain't gonna pull it up. You really gotta stumble on this kind of stuff sometime by looking at other stuff and finding it in a related search. But I'm gonna show y'all how to get to this one. Alright, so another way you do this type of research, my Naga, you know what I'm saying? For those that want to know, I invest when I do come across these pics, and like of course we could just visit right here, right? Which we'll do, and I already done did. But I look at these signs, like this is a street sign, Plaque Mariaki. This is another street sign, Florian. Now look a lot like Flora, right? Like Florida, right? And that's the corner of the two streets. So I might investigate that and put that in the Google search and see what it land me. Other times you could just hit this little search here, this little circle here, and search the image, right? Or you can click on visit, which I already did, and I already got the window up. And we'll go to it here. And all right. So let's go back to the other one. So if you do click right here, it's gonna take you here, and it's gonna be in Bible, and it's gonna ask you to translate the English, which I already did, or we already got it up in English. So it's gonna say Koma Merzin do Zozo, right? Zo Bible, right? So what all that Bible shit means is, what does a Negro have to do with 16th century Krakow? Salute.
You big dummy.
Tribe Up, you know what I'm saying? So this is how we find it. So So they say, what does the Negro have to do with 16th century Krakow? We're talking about Krakow in the 1500s. Where is Krakow? Anybody know where Krakow at? Krakow is in Poland. Krakow is in Poland, right? The same place where we saw where it's at. Same place where this is at in Poland. This one ain't in Krakow. This one is in I forgot where this one was at. I have to look back at it. I think this was in Warklaw or something. This was in Warklaw, Poland. Yeah, I try to remember. I told you I got a photographic memory, man. This was in Wrocław, Poland, and this one is in this one here is in another area of Poland. This is in Krakow, Poland. What does a Negro have to do with Poland, man? Straight up. And so they say a Negro. So we see the feathers pointed up, Managa. We know it's American Indian. Managa, who is the Indian?
You big dummy.
Not no fake ass red man. Not no $5 Indian.
Your $5 ass
The real American Negro is the Indian. Managa is the American Indian.
Everybody die.
If you ain't black, man, if you ain't black, you ain't nappy, you ain't no Indian, bro. Don't come at us with that bullshit. You a redneck. You a red man, redneck, you Eurasian. You is not a real Indian. If you don't look like us, you is not a real Indian. If you got long straight hair, you are not a real Indian. If you on the Dawes Road, period, you a fake Indian, Managa. You an imposter. You an identity thief. It's well proven. It's plenty of receipts all over the world, Managa. Every time we see the feather loincloth and feathers pointed up, it's us, Managa. It's the Negro, the American Negro. It's an interesting facts about Krakow, exoticism, literary recognition, and apothecary precision. Look, that's a hard word there. Apothecary. I gotta say that a couple. Apothecary, Managa, precision. It is enough to mix all of the above ingredients to get a fragment of the old image of the city and a curiosity. They always call them the Naga a curiosity. I hear a motherfucker call him a curiosity. You're a curiosity. You're exotic. Yeah, you was a curiosity, my Naga. They say these Nagas can do a lot of shit. They say exoticism, literary recognition, and apothecary precision. They say fragment the city, curiosity to the tourist. Although time passes more slowly in Krakow, Krakow's tenement houses are very intense in their diversity. Today, a few words about one of them: the house under the Negroes. Salute. The house under
you
the
big
Negroes.
dummy.
I like that shit. That shit say the house under the Negroes. The other one was called the House of Three Negroes. This one, the House Under Three Negroes. And these are tenement houses. They say Krakow's tenement houses. And what's a tenement house? We'll look into that. We're going to look into that. On 1 Florianska Street. Them niggas Floridians, man. Them nigga. That nigga might be Black Jack uncle somewhere, man. It's some bullshit. They got a nigga uncle up there. They talking in Bible. Nigga gotta dissect they shit. Motherfuckers. All over there in Poland. Ain't a Naga in sight. Salute.
You big dummy.
Eyes of the Gentiles. They got our ancestors up there. They say, look at the curiosity. Look at the Naga's looking down. The Naga been looking down on the Gentiles since the 1500s with this motherfucker. You know, it had everything to do with slavery in America. Anything from the 1500s over in Europe. Are you kidding me? Look at that. That's this one here back. That one. There was a recent one. This one here. Where this one is? What the date at on this one? Where this one? 1932. The Naga still there. The Naga like, yeah, we been here.
You big dummy.
Man, look at this shit, man. They been knew who you was for a long time. My Naga, 1932. That was after the racial integrity. They say we got them now. They calling themselves colored now. The first floor of the tenement house is decorated with a bas-relief depicting two Nagas. Since the 16th century, the 1500s, my Naga. What a coinky. These two figures have proudly looked down on the heads of Caucasoids, Krakowians. They look down on the Krakowians. Looking at such an exotic picture in the very center of a traditional city, we can ask ourselves, what does a Naga have to do with 16th century Krakow?
Now who sent you, nigga?
The answer is quite interesting. The image of the adorning the emblem of a pharmacy. It wasn't no pharmacy back then. Served as advertising. 16th century. That is the time of new geographical discoveries favored the interest in all exotics. What they were selling, tobacco and dope in there, coca leaves and shit, and marijuana. The bas relief of two Nagas was to inform the inhabitants of Krakow about the availability of exotic medicines in the pharmacist's offer and to be an incentive to make a purchase. You know they always got all them cocaine they was using in medicine back then. Exotic medicines. They went all in the Nagas in America and Colombia and coca. They say, we in love with that cocoa. Hey, the funky Frenchman came over here. The police came over here. They say, we in love with that cocoa. We in love with that cocoa. That's what they said. They were loving the tobacco. They were loving everything. They say this is exotic. They say they got that loud pipe. They say these Nagas growing all kind of shit over here. These green thumb, jolly green thumb ass Nagas. Salute.
You big dummy.
They say they got to go over here and make an incentive to make a purchase. They say, oh, they got the Nagas in. They say, look for the Nagas. They say, oh, there's the Nagas right there. Oh, look at that. Throwback. Look at that. 1936 House Under the Negro. Trap. Meet me at the trap. It's going down. Meet me at the club. It's going down. The House of the Nagas is going down. Anywhere you meet me, guaranteed to go down. Hey, they had that goo-wop playing in that bitch. It said, Jack is going in, Jack is going out at our trap house. Hey man, they wouldn't copyright me out. Play that goo-wop right now. Salute the goo-wop, my nigga. Salute the goo-wop.
You big dummy.
Salute the all the Nagas in the A, my nigga. They say the Pod Ethiopi pharmacy was also a meeting place for Krakow infidels. Oh, they say infidels. Infidels, non-Christians, non-believers in Zeus. They say, you're an infidel, you don't believe in our Zeus. They say it was a meeting for heathens. They say it was a meeting for savages.
Au bon sauvage.
Say
Au Négré l'Amérique.
infidels. I'm starting to wonder, was it something deeper? They say customers of the pharmacy could not only stock up on sophisticated medicines, they could buy a couple Nagas, but also buy excellent wines in this place. So you know they was dope. They are the one-stop shop. They were the liquor bar too. Perhaps it was precisely such a rich and diverse offer that paid off in later years with the interest of the artistic community. Constantly Lidifon something praised the House Under the Negroes in his poem. Soccer, something. Dang, why they ain't put the poem in English? I want to see what the poem. Oh, I gotta pull the poem up in English, man. I'm going back to this. We're gonna go. I ain't finna do it now because I don't want to throw everything out. I'm going back to this poem here though. We finna find out what the hell that poem talking about. I'm finna translate that motherfucking poem. I bet not see niggle in there nowhere. They talking about a brief excerpt. A fragment. Okay. I better not see niggle nowhere in there when I come back in here. Yeah, y'all. Tenement. What's a tenement? They say a tenement. They go Wikipedia trying to tell us what a tenement is. Now we seen though the House of Negroes went way back to the early 1500s, right after Columbus goofy ugly ass brought his monkey funky ass over his old stinky Spanish ass over here. So after Columbus came, right? They started making tenement houses shit with Nagas on with American Indians all over. A tenement is a type of building shared by multiple dwellings. Slaves? The Nagas y'all was taking from America? Is that what y'all was putting in these tenement homes? Was it the building to show you all the Indian slaves you was enslaving? Was that the curiosities, the exotics? You was doing all your trade, your tobacco trade, your exotic medicine trade, and your slave trade, all in one big ass project called the tenement. It's shared by multiple Multiple dwellings, typically with flats or apartments on each floor and with shared entrance, stairway access. They are common on the British Isles, particularly in Scotland. In the medieval Old Town, all right, now let's go to Poland. I'm gonna show you they got so much to hide that you gotta go way down to the damn bottom of this, because they talking all this shit here. They talking in the 19th century. No, this shit go back to the 1500s. We just read that. You gotta you gotta read the whole damn article to get all the way to the truth. To get down here to Poland, you gotta get all to the bottom of the damn article before they talk. Oh yeah, we forgot. Yeah, Poland was doing it in the 1500s with Negroes.
You big dummy.
I mean, the hijack is just obvious at this point. When somebody got something to hide this bad, this shit is just obvious. It's pathetic. It's just to the point where it's pathetic. It's just pathetic, my nigga. I'd be glad when the day come that every nigga from Canada all the way down to South America is aware of this shit right here. Because a change is going to be brewing. And when every nigga in the Americas become aware of this information, change is going to come, my nigga. Poland. Kamienica is a Polish term describing a type of residential tenement building made of brick or stone with at least 2 floors. There are 2 basic types. One designed as a single family residence which existed until the 1800s. They say existed until a burger house. And the other designed as multi-family housing which emerged in the 19th. See, it ain't emerged in the 1800s. We just read in the 1500s. So I brought y'all here to show y'all that they waited to the bottom to put Poland, and it's so sad that they didn't even mention the House of Negroes on Wikipedia. Over here in America. America don't want us to know about the tenement houses of Poland in the 1500s. They want to keep you in the roots, color purple narrative, thinking you a slave from Africa and all this bullshit. They bury all your real history on a bunch of bullshit. You got to go to websites in Poland and translate the website to get the truth. Quite often, it's sad. It's almost pathetic. The U.S. government got ashamed, but they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They lied us in our face. But you know, when Nagas had enough, don't blame us then. Salute. And on Blackjack, this house of masculinity. Respect my house. We let the door not hit you where the most high split you. Salute to the tribe. Hey, salute once again to LJ for the support on the cash out. Salute. We out, y'all.